What are some of the existing challenges that you believe exist when it comes to inclusion in tech and media?
I think in both. I mean, there's this intersection between gender and ethnicity or gender and race that there's a huge blind spot in terms of investment, in terms of people who get into management positions. And that's what we need to shake up at this point.
From the vantage point of an entrepreneur and a consumer of media, I think the biggest gap is in funding and what gets funded and what gets a green light.
Do you find that the spaces of inclusion, or the challenges of inclusion rather, are different from one area to the next? And if so, what are those differences between the tech space and the media space?
The same exposure I had to media as an industry that I now have to tech as an industry. I didn't have that as a kid. And so growing up, I didn't even know tech careers existed. I didn't think about it. It wasn't on my register. So I think of the tech community, it's a culture in and of itself. If you don't understand that culture, if you haven't been exposed to it, if you haven't participated in it, you're going to be intimidated by it, getting into it, and so there's a lot of self-defeating things that happen there. But two, it's gonna take you a while to adapt. And I think from an investor's perspective, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who are new to the tech space, and that's not lost on me that this is a new space for them to operate in.
Again, the advantage to the media is that you can, as an underrepresented voice, actually use your voice in media a little bit better than you can in tech. But the problem is that there are still the same people pulling the purse strings. And that's to me the problem.
For me, I think like you, I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or because I'm a black woman or because it's all of the things, I don't know. But I feel that what I have to accomplish, the metrics, the level of achievement that I have to get to for someone to say I'm ready for venture funding is way bigger than if I was 23-year-old John out of Stanford. It doesn't matter that we had, hundreds of thousands in revenue without any money. It doesn't matter that we've always hustled and figured it out. The bar is just, oh, you need this, or you need this, and you need this. And it's just actually, I don't. You just aren't willing to risk it on me because I'm not like you. And so I think that is frustrating. That just happened to us.
The best pieces of advice I got early on in my career was from a friend of mine who's an entrepreneur who's been fairly successful. And his advice was, number one, most people are just always thinking more about themselves than they are of you, no matter who you are or what you've done. And number two is you can psych yourself out thinking about all the reasons why this person isn't going to fund you or back you or whatever. And at the end of the day, you have to be able to just always trust yourself and trust your own gut, in spite of those hurdles. We know they exist, but you just can't think about them because that's the first thing that's going to stop you from trying, right? The first thing that gets you to undermine yourself is self-doubt.
Pipeline gets it right on many levels. One, because they're actually training high net worth women on how to become angel investors, and then bringing women-led entrepreneurs to those investors as investment opportunities. So they're tackling both sides of the equation, which I think is super dope.
Yeah, when it comes to resilience, I think it's really about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and just making that your normal. Because when you do, these types of frictions, you just get used to it. And it's not necessarily that you always want to be the person causing a problem, but you got to use your voice to accomplish whatever you can with the opportunities that you've got for yourself, and then you can use those opportunities to serve as examples to others.